Good afternoon. This is Kathy Chavers, Tribal Chair for the Bois Tribal Council, and on behalf of the Tribal Council, I want to take this opportunity to thank all the tribal government and Fortune Bay employees and everyone involved during this pandemic, especially our healthcare workers and our emergency personnel. I also want to take an opportunity to apologize for not having a video yesterday. There are times when our calls are consistent with conference calls with agencies, and we will be having videos Monday through Friday. There may be different individuals on the videos, but we will not be having videos on Saturday and Sunday, only if something extreme arises that the community needs to be made aware of. So Monday through Friday we'll be having videos at 3:30. Every day, Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday if necessary, the Forte Tribal Emergency Response Committee meets every day at 8:30 a.m. with our directors using Zoom for meetings. Updates are given daily, and then questions are addressed after the updates. This sets our plan for the upcoming day and also to address the events that we talked about during the previous day. We are continuing to get information out as needed to our tribal members and Net Lake and Vermilion community members with a door-to-door, but stop. I'm going to tell Louise to stop, she'll edit that. We are continuing to get information out as needed to our Net Lake and Vermilion residents with a door-to-door campaign on a daily basis with updated information for community members. If you do not receive anything on your door, please contact 218-757-3261 and notify our front desk. And there are times when there may not be information because there are no updates. Funding for this pandemic is crucial. The state of Minnesota legislature passed a bill yesterday that allows up to $1 million grants for each of the 11 tribes in the state to deal with the Corona-19 pandemic. The application is due April 1st, and the state hopes to get the funding out to the tribes before April 8th. We anticipate funding for the full $1 million. Federal House Democrats secured investments for tribes in what's being called the CARES Act. It's a Corona Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. Through this, tribes received funding of up to approximately $11 million, or maybe a little over. Tribes first wanted $20 million, and House Democrats fought very hard, and we want to thank our partners in the Senate and House on the federal level for their fight to ensure that tribes receive funding. Here's a little breakdown of how that funding goes. There's stabilization funds. There's $8 billion set aside to assist tribes with costs incurred in the response to the coronavirus pandemic. Through Indian Health Service, there's more than $1 billion to help health facilities conduct surveillance, provide health care, establish mobile isolation clinics or units, purchase equipment and supplies, and for other needs. Bureau of Indian Affairs received $453 million for essential tribal government services to help prepare for and respond to the pandemic, to ensure government continuity, and to aid individual Native Americans. The Native American Housing Block Grant and Indian Community Development Block Grant Program received $300 million to help tribal governments and tribally designated housing entities provide safe and affordable housing and related services. Educational programs received $223 million to respond to educational needs in Indian country as a result of the coronavirus. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention received $125 million in funding to help tribes, tribal organizations, urban Indian health organizations, or health service providers to tribes to conduct public health activities. The Food Distribution Program on Indian Reservations received $100 million to provide USDA foods to income-eligible households living on Indian reservations and to American Indian households residing in approved areas near reservations and in Oklahoma. Tribal colleges and universities received $50.5 million to help defray expenses including lost revenue, technology costs associated with transitioning 2 distance education, and for grants to help students with basic needs. Senior Nutrition received $20 million for nutrition assistance for Native American seniors through the Administration for Community Living. Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration received $15 million to support mental health services and substance abuse prevention and treatment. Health Resources and Services Administration received $15 million for health services in rural areas. Those are some of the funding pools that came out for the whole Indian country, throughout the country, the U.S. And once the breakdowns or the funding mechanisms get set, Bois Forte will be applying for funds that were secured through this CARE Act. Every day, with the exception of Saturday and Sunday, however it does happen, there are conference calls with tribal leaders, emergency planners, and programs regarding possible additional funding opportunities during this time. Every morning at 10 or 10:30 there is a Minnesota Tribal Leaders Call to talk about what other tribes are doing, plus what areas we can unite on when talking with state and federal agencies. We also have various calls throughout the day with the CDC, Center for Disease Control, Indian Health Service, Bureau of Indian Affairs, Department of Interior, and many more other committees. Every day at 4:30 or 5, there is a call with tribal leaders, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, Senator Tina Smith or her office representatives, Representative Betty McCollum's office or Betty herself, and the Minnesota tribal leaders. And this is a federal, state, and tribal call that's conducted daily from 4:30 till 5 and lasts approximately an hour. There is an update with the election. As everyone knows, the election was postponed. Due to the primary election being postponed, the election board will not be sending out any ballots until the new ballots are printed with the corrected primary date on them. New ballots should arrive to the tribes by April 15th. Also, those ballots sent in already will be considered valid. We have employees working from home within the various departments of the tribal government. We are also rotating employees in the event there's an active coronavirus case in a department. So services will never be affected. I just want to tell everyone that if we do our part during this pandemic, we will get through this. We have survived before and we will survive again. Miigwech, stay safe, stay home, and practice physical distancing. Thank you.